Om. 52nd Sutra of the Vibhuti Pada of Maharshi Patanjali's Yoga Darshana. The sutra is Kshanat Kramayoho Samyamad Vivekajam Jnanam. Kshanat Kramayoho Samyamad Vivekajam Jnanam. Kshana tat kramayoho viveka jam jnanam. Kshana tat kramayoho samyamad vivekajam jnanam. Another vibhuti has been presented. Kshana is the instant, minutest, smallest of the smallest of the smallest of the time. Kshana is. Tat means it. Krama, sequence. And samyama. Samyama on the sequence of the kshana. What will happen? Vivekajam jnanam. Jnana born of Vivekaja, discrimination. Vivekajam jnanam. A discriminative ability and the knowledge. Vivekajam jnanam. Viveka is the discrimination. Vivekaja, born of discrimination. Jnanam, knowledge. Knowledge born out of discrimination. And that comes out of Kshanatat Kramayoho. Performing samyama, the rough understanding. Performing samyama or from samyama on the kshana, instant, and on the two sequences of kshana, two sequences of instants, comes the knowledge born of discrimination. Samyama on the kshana and also samyama on the sequence of two kshanas comes the knowledge born of discrimination. A special word has been used here. Vivekajam jnanam. Though the literal meaning is the knowledge born of discrimination, it is better to understand it as is the awareness of the reality between the two kshanas. And the samyama on that, we should never forget. Samyama is the process of dharana, dhyana, samadhi. And performing samyama on that, on the two things, on the kshana itself and also on the sequence of the kshana, one gains Vivekajam jnanam. Kshana is the minutest part of the limit. If we take it as a time, it cannot be divisible, indivisible limit of the time, indivisible part of the atom. Further it cannot be divided. As an atom is a substance in which minuteness reaches its limit, so a moment, a kshana, is a division of a time in which minuteness reaches its limit. And it is so minute, it cannot be further divided. If there is a millionth of a second, and that millionth of a second, if it is measurable, that which is measuring is subtler, is minutest than that is being measured. Still minute of that. And that is the meaning to be understood here. Or a moment is, a kshana is that much of time in which an atom takes in leaving its position in space, which it occupies, and reaches the next point. For understanding, say an atom is at a point called, say, B. Atom A is at a point called at B, and the displacement time required for the atom A from B, that is the kshana. And once it gets displaced from the point B, another atom, say C, occupies the position called B. That space is the krama, sequence. And this samyama on the kshana and the samyama on the sequence, the displacement, order of the displacement, and the space between the gap, that samyama gives rise to the Vivekajam Jnanam. The succession of the movements is the non-cessation of the flow thereof. It's very important. The succession of the movement is the non-cessation. The traditional example is given that at the tip of the rope, a fire is there. You set fire at the tip of a rope, and the rope is rotated. When we are rotating the rope, what is seen? We see a circle of fire. But actually it is not the circle of the fire. The speed of rotation and the successive movements, kshanakrama, creates an impression that it is a circle of fire. Agnivritta it is called. But by contemplating, by performing samyama on a particular instant of the rotation, kshana, and how that particular instant is changed, replaced by the second, that subtlety gives Vivekajam Jnanam, the knowledge born of discrimination. How subtle it is. When we set fire to something, the fire will be blazing fire. And it is so blazing, it seems that it is a continuous blazing. But within that blazing, there are fire particles. And these fire particles are getting replaced so continuously. The krama is so much. Instant replacements. And that though it is instant replacements, it looks like the time is zero, the replacement time is zero, but still there is a kshana. And samyama on that gives the jnanam of Vivekajam, the jnana born of the Viveka. And the moments and their collection do not fall into a collection of actual things. This is what we say, muhurtam. The day and night are all aggregates of mental conceptions. Because even thoughts are sequence, the cells are sequence. So it's a psychological, a mental concept it is. And the sutra should be studied along with our earlier sutra, in which there was a discussion about these changes. Kshanata kramayoho is a process by which the Purusha transcends time and is projected in a manifestation in terms of time. It is. It transcends it, but it projects it as a manifestation. This obviously is the last veil of illusion, avidya, which must be pierced. And that is possible by the jnana of Vivekajam. And the technique given is the samyama on that. And the samyama on the kshana and the kshanakrama. That is the important method, suggestion presented by Maharshi Patanjali on that. And the krama of the kshana is so instantaneous, like the flashes of the flame, and instantaneous flashes of burning in a flame, in the fire, are noticed. In fact, we don't see that these instantaneous flashes of burning is taking place. And that illusion that it is continuous, once that is removed, and that removal which happens is the Vivekajam Jnanam, the knowledge of the Vivekajam, born of the Viveka. Similar, same to the flow of river. Every particle, every atom of the water is moving in a canal or in a tube or in a river. But we'll feel entire water is moving. This illusion is out of the instantaneous krama it is, kshanakrama it is. And we feel the river is flowing. But in fact, it is not the river which is flowing. The instantaneous replacements of the kshana is happening there. This knowledge is called as Vivekajam Jnanam. How deep Maharshi Patanjali presents the wonderful ideas with a deep understanding and the feeling that time is moving and that its future aspect is approaching and the past is going away can be all considered as an illusory impressions. It is not that time is moving, future is coming, past is fast passing away. All these are mental concepts. Just like that which is passenger in a moving railway train gets about the trees and other outside things are moving in opposite direction. It's an illusion. And this knowledge is very important. Vivekajam Jnanam. With this understanding, let us move further in understanding the further sutras. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.